Alright, hey everyone. I'm going to give you a quick lesson on average value of a function. Here I have three graphs, and I want to ask you about the average value, so the function average, that's the y values we're talking about. What's the average of this function here if we take a look at this top line right here? Well, since it's horizontal, if you take a look at all the y values here, y value is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, all the way across. What's the average if all of the numbers are 2? The average is 2, so function average here is 2 over this interval. What's the function average here? Well, if we've got 0, and we've got that spread out evenly as well, we've got these 5 points. The average, if you take them all, add them all up, divide by the number of points, you're going to get an average. If this is a straight line, you're going to get an average of 1. See, this is the average value of all these points. Make sense? And over here now, this is something a little bit different. If I take a look at these points that I've outlined, roughly the exact same the exact same distance as these ones that I've identified, then you can see that the actual y values are quite a bit lower, so the average of the y values here is going to be quite a bit less than halfway through. It's going to be somewhere maybe around here. This is going to be what the average is going to work out to, and this is the whole point of average value of a function. So how do I find this number? Well, this one's pretty easy, that's 2. This one's pretty easy, it's a straight line. It's going to be half of between 0 and 2, because it's a steady incline there. But this one, different. So how do we do that? Take a look at this, area. Okay, what is area? Area is width times height, right? And the height here is 2 all the way across. So the area is 3 times 2. What's the area over here? Well, the area would be 1/2 the base times the height, 1/2 the base times the height. And what's 1/2 of the base? Well, it seems to be the average value of all these values that are mentioned. Okay, 1/2 the base is 1. That's the average value here. 2 is the average value. 1 is the average value. Guess what? If we're trying to find the area underneath this graph as a formula of 1/2, of base times height, okay, base times height, here's the base, or the width. What's the height? Well, the height would be the average value of the function. And so consider it this way. If this is the average of the value of the function, then this is going to be the height by which we will have an equivalent area. Okay, so that's what I want to make the point of. We're talking about equivalent area. Now, take a look down here. Okay, area is base times height. How do I find the height? Well, the height is area divided by base. Areas of rectangles and triangles, easy to find. Areas underneath curves, not easy to find, but because you know calculus, you know that the area is actually the integral from whatever the a is to whatever the b is, right? So the integral from a to b of whatever this function is, dx, and that would be over the base. So as I follow this through here, the height is actually the function average. And so how do I find that function average? Well, I take the integral from the definite integral from a to b, and I divide it by this width right here, the base, which actually would be b minus a. So divide it by b minus a, or multiply it by 1 over b minus a. And that's how you find the average value for any function. Easy for a rectangle, average value 2. Easy for a triangle, average value, it's half of the height. Here, not so easy. Find the average value, use your integrals. Okay? So just a couple more here. If you have something like this, right, the average value is going to be up a little bit higher. That's where the average value is going to be, right here. And that would make sense, because this area under the graph would be equal to the area under the function average over the same interval. So that's your quick little lesson on average value of a function right here, and circled in blue, that's how you find it.